Hey guys, Absolver is a great game. It's one of the first few games I have stuck to like a tick on a dog. That's a very visceral description, but it's been a great time sink. When I get asked what kind of games I play, this is definitely going to be one of my answers. Now, when I talk about wasted potential, I think about Absolver. This game I think is just wasted potential. And I don't mean it like the world building is great, the world is so much wasted potential lore-wise. No, I mean it kind of is, and you could do more with the lore, but Absolver is itself wasted potential. The game is wasted potential. Now, the game isn't really dead, but basically it kind of is. Since the development and release of Sifu, which was made by Slow Clap Games, who also made Absolver, it's been left untouched by them for quite some time now, apart from like maintenance or something like that. You get the idea. I mean, the online aspect wouldn't work without it. There aren't any other news or updates, and it's kind of bad considering that, there's a very big player base, PvP player base, relatively speaking. However, let me convince you why you should still play this game. To summarize it all, it's still a pretty lively game, relatively speaking. There are a handful of people that still play it from time to time, and the PvP combat scene is still alive. There's a community of players on Discord and a subreddit on, Reddit, and the people there are active almost daily. Well, actually daily still. Also, you will be relieved to know that this game does not need a consistent internet connection. You can play it offline, no worries. So, if you just want to play it on your own, no worries, but I like to play it with random people. So, let's talk about Absolver itself. Absolver is set in a fantasy world, and it's a bit of a long story, but I suppose I can just give you a quick rundown on the lore, yada yada yada. Basically, Ooga Booga human, find rock, make rock precious, rock make world good. Just kidding, that was very Homo sapiens phobic or Neanderthal phobic, whatever. The lore is basically in the world of Absolver, and I'm just reading off of the official lore and summarizing it in a way that's easy to understand. Basically, the humans started out normally, and then they formed the tribes and whatnot, like the humans in our timeline and our Earth, and then they discovered pretty rocks, and those rocks were called essence. Soon enough, some tribes discovered that they reacted to primordial incantations. I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool, and that's according to the Absolver wiki. Using the right tones and rhythms, it could take extraordinary properties, emit light or energy, become lighter than air, harder than diamond, and more. It soon became the most valuable resource to men. Now, the Adal mastered the sciences or natures, I don't know, of the pretty rocks, and they did a lot of stuff with it, and soon they were a powerful empire, having conquered nearby countries. In the known world of Absolver, they were the center of the world. It was a very big and great and powerful and awesome empire, you get the idea, and then, one day, catastrophe struck. There was a big bad boo-boo that happened in the Essence mines, and the earth split open, engulfing entire neighborhoods. This killed thousands of people, and it also led to the eventual collapse of the Empire of the Adal because the Emperor and his family died in that tragedy. So now, the survivors and the guides, which is, sort of like a religious group there, the guides, they set out to establish a home away from their home, safe from the ruins of the Empire. And then, the guides started to become powerful, and then they used folding magic, and then they made the masks which you, the player, and other players, and most other NPCs you'll encounter are wearing. You are a prospect for most of the game's story, but you'll become an Absolver too after you finish the story. Now, I went on enough of a rant about the lore. So, Absolver, it's a very unique game. I'm sure it's not as unique anymore since Sifu has been out since 2021, but Sifu is a more story-oriented or it's linear compared to Absolver. Absolver is more open world, despite having a really small world. They're both from the same developers, so I don't think there's any real contest or competition. I mean, I don't think there's any game that comes really close to the combat system that both Absolver and Sifu offer. If you think I'm wrong, could you please leave a comment down below and tell me what other games you think come close to this? The only game that I think could come close is Sleeping Dog, but that's maybe for another time. Now, if you've played both Sifu and Absolver, you might, just maybe, you might hate me for what I'm about to say, but I honestly preferred Absolver's combat system more than I did Sifu's. Sifu is simpler, but Absolver's, man, the combat in Absolver is fucking smooth and deep, I tell you. But, of course, I'm not saying Sifu sucks. I played the game and it's pretty great. I loved it. Like, it's nice. I liked it. I liked the story and the combat. I mean, Sifu has a fleshed out story compared to Absolver's. I mean, Absolver's is like all over, not really all over the place, but you know what I mean. Absolver's isn't really, strong on its story. But then, it's just that when it comes to combat, I prefer Absolver more. I think Sifu's combat system is more fast-paced. And of course it is, considering it's simpler. I don't know, I probably don't know what I'm talking about, but that's just what I have experienced in the time I've played both games. Absolver is, heavier, per se. It's grounded, at least in my opinion. There are different fighting styles, different fighting styles and different stances to base your attacks on. You can practice your combat deck and change things up in that said combat deck. You can choose whatever moves you want, as long as you have learned them, of course. Yeah, you have to learn some moves. Now, basically, it's in-depth, it's deep, it's advanced, it requires calculation or button mashing if you're impatient. Also, throw in some dying from getting ganged up or underestimating bosses. How you die entirely depends on you. Now, speaking of being impatient, or patience in general, or as a virtue, you have got to be patient with this game. I mean, the game is hard, but it's not like Elden Ring's hard or Dark Souls hard. It's not that hard. It's reasonably hard. But I don't mean frustratingly hard as well. It's hard. It's the kind of hard that makes it hard because you haven't learned it. Did I make sense? It's hard because you have to learn it properly there. Yeah, I said it properly. It is easy to learn, but hard to maybe it's hard to do both. I guess it just depends on how much you're willing to learn about it. Another cool thing I found about the game is how it handles time and the atmosphere of the areas in-game. There is no nighttime per se, and I think it's justified since Absolver is set in the ruins of an empire, so there isn't really civilization that keeps the roads lit at night or the paths lit at night. So what they did was to have a specific set time for each area. Although I might be wrong, there might be some other reason as to why the devs preferred that, or like a lore-wise reason. Anyway, moving on, the PvE aspect of the game is also pretty great. I found some enemies very powerful compared to my own character. Sometimes it even feels like I'm the NPC and they're the players. It's a weird dynamic. Now, the real meat of the game is the PvP aspect. There's not a lot of players nowadays, so you can't really expect this game to have much to offer when it comes to PvP. However, that's only when you match randomly. If you just queue up like you would any other game for a multiplayer game, it'll take some time before you match with someone randomly, but, you should join up on a Discord server and look for people to join you for PvP sessions, or you can ask for help when it comes to some minor bosses in PvE sessions. Occasionally, you might encounter some random players like I did, and as of July 8th of the year of our Lord 2024, I still got random players on different areas of the game. Also, Drip Solver. You can make your character look as cool or as stupid or as funny or as stupid again or as awesome as you want him or her to be. It's fun. And also, there are mods for the game. But I haven't really tried it yet because I'm a pussy, a coward. Yeah, I'm a coward. Those mods make the game harder than it already is, so if you're starting out, I recommend getting used to the game before you go installing mods. Now, all in all, honestly, just go play the game if you think you want this for the full price, or if you're really interested in the lore of the game, just get it for the full price. I think the lore is very, very, very cool. I'm a nerd when it comes to these things. I like it. I like these types of things, honestly, so I'm pretty biased towards the game. Now, to this day, it's still a pretty fun experience. Unfortunately, for its full price of $30 for the base game and $43 for the game and the DLCs, it's probably not worth it for you. My suggestion is to wait for a sale and get it then. And as of July 8th, there is still a sale going on. And by the time you probably watch this, there's no more sale. By then, you should probably just get the game for the full price, or maybe not, you can wait for another sale. Anyway, if you're still here, thanks for watching. You've all been great. I'll see you all in a future video, hopefully. Leave a like and subscribe and comment and stuff, because it's supporting your favorite YouTuber, or maybe not. Or, I don't know really. I don't know. Just do what I say, like and subscribe and comment, because it's cool. If you don't do that, then you're not cool, and I hate you.